So this is what you came here for. What did Elon Musk say on Clubhouse? Guys, if you are not on Clubhouse, what are you doing with your life? I just sat in a room with Elon Musk. Yes, I said it, Elon Musk, and I am in awe. Not necessarily in awe of a human being, but in awe of being able to sit in a room with what was announced this month, this year, the richest person in the world. I am amazed, and I feel really fortunate and blessed, because I think if it wasn't for the pandemic, an app like Clubhouse probably wouldn't have been invented, or at least not at this point. And with an app like Clubhouse, you can sit in a room with a multi-billionaire for free and sit and listen to their wisdom and knowledge. And it is amazing. It is an amazing feeling. I feel like when I sat in that room with him that I felt smarter. Guys, if you are not on Clubhouse, what are you doing with your life? Look, I'll be honest with you, I am an Android girl. But I'd had my phone for like 5 years, and long story short, it was time to renew. And when I heard about Clubhouse, I was like, yeah, I'm getting the iPhone. And that's exactly what I did. And I'm so glad I made that decision, because I have had so many great opportunities to connect and network with some amazing people. But anyway, y'all didn't come here for that. But if you're not following your girl on Clubhouse and you're in there, follow me on Clubhouse, guys. And if you are not following me on Instagram and Facebook, y'all gotta do it, especially Instagram, because I am uploading stories and posts like no one's business. I upload a post every Monday with Money Makeover Mondays, every Wednesday with Wisdom Wednesday, and every Friday with Fitness Friday, so you can keep up with being fit in your finances, inside your body, and in your thoughts. You can keep up with your girl, because on YouTube, I post videos which I feel like it's more detailed. I give you more information. But if you want to know what's going on with me throughout the week, yeah, check your girl out on the other social media platforms, because I am definitely out there in these social media streets. Okay? Guys, so this is what you came here for. What did Elon Musk say on Clubhouse? We're going to talk about it. We are going to get into it. And this is going to be a different video. I'm not doing a bunch of editing for this video. I took notes, and yes, I'm going to read from my notes. Okay? All right, guys. So he talked about various topics. He started off talking about life on Mars. So many of you know that he is researching into life on Mars, and in the next several decades where human beings could exist. And here are some of the things that he stated. And you'll have to forgive me, guys. I'm looking down at my notes. It is 2 a.m. here in Houston, Texas. And so I'm not trying to sit here and memorize stuff. I'm going to read from my notes, okay? And yes, I took notes. When you're in a room with someone like Elon Musk, you take notes. So he stated it would be dangerous and hard work to make Mars a self-sustaining planet, to make it Earth-like. You can only go to Mars every 2 years, and it's like a 6-month journey, because Earth is on the other side of the sun from Mars. But eventually it should be able to be a 1-month journey. And right now research is being done to see if life on Mars can be possible in the future because the state of what's going on with the earth. And so something else that he mentioned, because he was asked if he could talk about what he thinks about aliens. And he said that he has no single piece of conclusive evidence that there are aliens on Mars, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there are no aliens on Mars. So then they quickly started talking about some fun things like his memes, and he said, whoever controls memes controls the universe. And he said, you know what, guys? Whoever controls spice controls the universe. And if memes are the spice of life, then memes control the universe. It was a funny joke, and the people on the panel laughed. And he stated that memes are a complex form of communication. And a picture is worth 1,000 words, and he feels that memes are worth 10,000 words. Now, then he also talked about Neuralink. And he said, even in a benign scenario, how do we follow along with the ride when it comes to Neuralink and this type of technology? He said, people already have a tertiary digital layer. That's the third layer. And we already have that in the form of our phones, computers, etc. The bandwidth between our cortex and our digital tertiary layer is very low. Computers can communicate at a very high bandwidth, so we need to improve the bandwidth. With a direct neural interface, we can improve the bandwidth between the cortex and the digital tertiary by at least 1,000 to 10,000 or more in magnitude. This will allow conceptual telepathy, which will improve the quality and speed of communication. If you were to die, and this is really what threw me for a loop, but he said, if you were to die, your state could return in the form of another human body or even in a robot. You could decide, I guess in your will and testament, which is a long-term goal, if you want to come back in another human body or as a robot. And he said, but in the short term, this implanted chip could help repair brain injuries or spinal injuries. He said, think of it as a Fitbit in your skull with tiny wires going to your brain. Guys, this was mad crazy. Then the next thing that he talked about is, what would you tell someone who wants to live like Elon Musk? And his answer was, you would have to have a raging demon in your skull to get this type of work done. He said, don't do it. He said, a lot of startups typically ask, what's some encouraging words for those who want to do a startup? And he said, if you need encouraging words to do a startup, don't do a startup. Doing a startup is like eating glass and staring into the abyss. And so then he was asked about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So when he was asked about Bitcoin, I have to say he definitely took a pause. And he was basically like, I have to be careful what I say, because what I say could possibly affect the stock. So we were all like, I know I was listening attentively, like, what is he gonna say? And he said many of his friends tried to convince him to get involved with Bitcoin when it got started. He said one friend even fed him a slice of Bitcoin cake. And I think he said it was 2013, 2014 period. He thinks Bitcoin is a good thing and realizes he was a little late to the party, but he is a supporter of Bitcoin. He has no strong opinion on other cryptocurrency, but he did talk a little bit about Dogecoin. He said Dogecoin was made as a joke to make fun of cryptocurrency, but fate loves irony. And he said the most ironic outcome is that Dogecoin becomes the currency of the future. He said when he made a joke about cryptocurrency, his account got locked, his social media account got locked. And the guy that was interviewing him, which invited him to Clubhouse, I think his name was Shiram. Anyway, he had to vouch for Elon Musk to basically state that he was the real Elon Musk in order to get his account unlocked. Then he talked about Tesla in the next few years and his thought on Tesla and Tesla's future. He said the goal with Tesla is to accelerate the advancement of sustainable energy. He wants to eventually make 20 million cars a year. And in order to really move the needle, you can't move the needle when it comes to vehicles unless you're occupying 1% of the vehicles on the road, which is where he got the 20 million cars a year from. He said the ultimate goal is to accelerate sustainable energy further. And in order to do this, Tesla's making their own cells. He said if anyone's interested in artificial intelligence, which is AI for short, that you should really look up Tesla's AI team, because Tesla has artificial intelligence in their hardware as well as in their software. He also mentioned that bringing the data of self-driving sooner translates to lives saved and fewer crashes and lives made better, since every year roughly 1.3 million people die in car accidents worldwide, which is an average of 3,287 deaths per year, which is crazy, guys. I'm a little on the fence about this whole self-driving thing. I think it's great when a car sees that you're about to get in a car accident and comes to a stop, but I don't really want cars to just be driving on the road with no human behind the wheel. And maybe I'm misunderstanding the whole thing, but that would make me uncomfortable, as well as a plane flying by itself. But at any rate, I digress. Let's stick to what Elon Musk said. So then he was asked, what is a day in the life like of Elon Musk? So a day in the life of Elon Musk. He says, well, he wakes up to see if there are any emergency text messages or emails, which there usually are. He said his day is not very interesting, but realizes he has to do his chores or his day goes to hell. Yes, that is exactly what he said. If he doesn't do his chores, his day goes to hell. He says he enjoys the in-person meetings as compared to emails. He would even rather deal with a text message or Zoom meetings. Practically anything, he said, is better than email. Most of his meetings are about engineering and design, but he also has to deal with meetings such as finance and sales, which, anything necessary for a company to function. He said context switching is a bear. So he tries to focus on one thing for an hour, such as his engineering and design meetings, and then he will switch to another topic for another hour, such as his finance or sales meetings. Now, one of the things that was mentioned was that Mark Zuckerberg was asked about his day in the life, and that he actually blocks out times for open space on his calendar. And Elon stated he barely has a lot of open space. He usually has back-to-back meetings, which is insane, his words, and he doesn't recommend it. He wonders how long he can keep this up because he doesn't want his brain to explode. Again, his words. He states that many of his meetings are important and pretty intense, and often wonders if he should take a week of vacation just to rest his mind. Elon Musk, I doubt you're watching this, but if you are, take a break. We do not want your brain to explode, okay? Now, if there is a crisis situation, he mentioned that he will actually sleep on the floor of his company. He says if his team is working hard to get something done, he will sleep in the middle of the factory floor so the team can see him and thus keep up the hard work as well. His conference room is literally in the middle of the factory floor. One of the guys on the panel could attest to this. He said that he thought Elon Musk would have some sort of executive floor, which most CEOs have an executive floor that they sit on. Well, not Elon Musk. He said that his conference room is really in the middle of the factory floor, and it's not on an executive floor. He even keeps his sleeping bag in the conference room, but he doesn't sleep in his conference room. He takes his sleeping bag out of his conference room, walks it to the outside of the conference room, and sleeps on the floor. And he said he does this because if he's asking his team to go all out, he can't expect them to go all out if he's not showing that he's committed as well. So he will stay there overnight just to encourage the team to keep going. Guys, that is amazing. All right, crazy, insane, but no wonder why his companies are doing so well. They actually see their CEO doing the same things that they're doing, staying up all night, being there, being committed. And so, yeah, if your CEO is right there, you're going to definitely work hard because you don't want him to see you slipping on the job because he's there. All right. So he was asked if you were to start another company or an idea, what would you start? And he was like, he has so many irons in the fire. He doesn't plan on starting anything else anytime soon, but he did state that he recommends someone starting a tunneling company and then also start to the digitization of medicine. He mentioned mRNA. He says mRNA is the future of medicine. He says your cells are literally biological computers and will do whatever the punch card says. mRNA has been the key to COVID-19 vaccines. So then, of course, the next question was, what would you do differently with the logistics side of administering COVID-19 vaccine? He said, well, relaxing the requirements for those who can get the vaccine. He says it's important for the elderly and people with compromised immune systems to get the vaccine because RNA sequences that are used are not stable. The vaccine must be frozen at a certain temperature and thus administered in a quick amount of time, so it doesn't go into another lower sequence. Also, focus on the first dose being first come, first serve, and not worrying so much about the vaccine going to someone who didn't deserve it. He said that there should be an avalanche of the vaccine coming soon. The US has ordered like 9 billion doses. He said likely more will be thrown away than them actually running out. He said the Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine was recently approved as well, so expect that to be coming out. And he said even the Tesla machine can make a lot of doses super fast, and expect an exponential increase in vaccine availability. The antibody, however, he mentioned that the antibody reaction is even better than getting the vaccine. So then they lightened up the conversation a bit and said, what are you watching on TV or what books are you reading? And he actually mentioned that he's been keeping up with The Last Kingdom and Cobra Kai. Guys, this man is so busy, but he manages to still watch TV. I don't even feel like I have the time for television. But Elon Musk has the time for television. Does he have kids? Anyway, the next topic has been a really hot one lately, and this is around GameStop. And actually, Elon Musk suggested this topic and said, why don't we invite the chief executive officer Vlad to come in and talk about why he froze the trading of GameStop on Robinhood. So the host of that particular room, he kind of hesitated a bit, but he went ahead and pinged Vlad and asked him to come into the room so that they could discuss the GameStop shares and what was going on with that. So Vlad, again, is the chief executive of Robinhood. He mentioned that Robinhood is first comprised of a few companies: Robinhood Financials, Robinhood Securities, and Robinhood Crypto. He said Wednesday of last week there was an unprecedented activity where these stocks were going viral on the internet. And at 3:30 a.m. Pacific time, the operations team received a file from the NSEC, who gave a request for a deposit of $3 billion, which was a crazy demand. It later resulted in a $700 million demand, which was paid by Robinhood. He did state that Citadel is not controlling their decisions, as this was a clearinghouse decision and not affected by market makers. And Elon Musk definitely, I'd say, grilled Vlad on the questions, but Vlad was a good sport in it all. And it was a really interesting conversation. But yeah, guys, I literally have 3 pages of notes that I just read from. I'm hoping that this video isn't too long, but that you did get a bit of a summary of what was discussed on Clubhouse and exactly what did Elon Musk say on Clubhouse. This was just a really amazing experience. And guys, again, if you are not following me on my other social media platforms, definitely check me out. I am at FitWithTiff100 on Instagram and on Facebook. And again, I am on Clubhouse. And guys, look, always remember to stay fit in your finances. And until next time, I will see you in my next upload. Thanks again for rocking with your girl, Tiffany Chanell at FitWithTiff100. Bye.